All right, good evening and welcome back. So this evening we're going to talk about what we're going to do in the meantime while we're waiting on the two tribute projects. Your guys' project and my project. We're doing two at the same time. If you're watching for the first time, I let the subscribers pick the color for their build. Go ahead and look in the previous videos, you'll find it. So while we're waiting on your build and my build to get finished, the finish work, we're going to build them here. You guys are going to pick the parts for yours. I'm going to pick the parts for mine. While we're waiting for those, I wanted to do another build, one a little more simpler. You guys look at my previous videos, you'll see what I just talked about on that. Trying to find something to build while we're waiting on them. But while I'm waiting on the two tributes and to find something else to build while we wait on the tributes, I figured we'll do this. We are going to go ahead and get this thing squared away. So this is a 1988 345 BB King Lucile. So as talked about in my my reverb listing, and I think my unboxing too, this thing was molested. So I do have all four of the original knobs. Two of them are still good, and two of them unfortunately took a whack. I do have all four of the original pots, the original mono and stereo input jack, and the original three-way switch, which obviously we're not going to be using that again. So let me know what you guys think on this. When I purchased this, it still has everything else original in it, except for the four pots, the three-way switch, and the two input jacks. Obviously, they're laying right there, but I do have the original ones. So they bypassed this baritone switch, and they bypassed the stereo. I wanted to hook this up exactly the way it was, but I'm thinking I don't want to waste my time trying to put all the old parts back in just to find out that there's a good reason why they took them out. So what I figured I would do is, let me get this open here. The only thing left in the electronics department that's original in this thing are the pickups and this baritone switch. And this baritone switch does not look healthy. Matter of fact, I don't even see any tone caps on it unless they're on this little printed board, which I don't know, I guess they could be. There looks like there's some little capacitors in that printed board. So that doesn't look the healthiest. So maybe that's why they went ahead and did it. But anyways, they did replace all four of the pots. And again, they only hooked up the mono. So what I was thinking of doing is just removing this baritone switch and putting it in the pile of original parts just to keep with the guitar, and buy another baritone switch and hook it up the right way with the four brand new pots, the new three-way switch, and the stereo and mono input jack. So the only thing that's missing in here that isn't new is that baritone switch. So I was tooling around on eBay and I found this guy here. Let me see, 335. Okay. So this guy here, he hand makes all this stuff. Let me go down to seller's other items and we'll go ahead and talk about him real quick. So this is Kelling's Sound 88, all right? And he has 6,540 stars, 100% positive feedback. And if you click on here, he sold 7,400 items with 100% positive feedback. And these are all his items. So he has all kinds of pots and baritone switches and stuff for basses, Fenders, Gibsons. He makes quick connect stuff. So what I was thinking about, because I don't have the silver burst here to show you guys again, I lent it out to get some buckle wear on it to Matt and let him play it for a little while. But what I was thinking is to get another switch like I'd put in that one, another Veritone switch like I just put in that Les Paul Silverburst, but I can't find any anywhere. And it looks like this guy knows what he's doing. So back to this listing here, I was thinking about reaching out to him and asking him if he could build one of these without the plastic wiring. Because this doesn't have any plastic wiring in it except for the 2 pickups. I guess the plastic wiring don't matter, but you know me, I like to go with vintage wiring. But anyways, I was thinking about reaching out to this guy, this Kelling Sound, and ask him if he could build me a Veritone switch for this with a wiring diagram, because I've never done a mono and stereo input jack and a Veritone. I've done the basic 4 pots, 2 capacitors, 1 input jack, 2 pickups. That's pretty much where I flatline at. So I'm thinking, well, this thing really needs done. So I was going to reach out to Kelling Sound and see if he could build me a switch that will work for this with the stereo and the mono. Just eliminate that old Veritone switch and finish off the inside of this with all new parts. And go ahead and cut the strings off of it, pull the pick guard, give it a good cleaning, because I haven't done that yet since I purchased it. And go ahead and get this electronic cavity buttoned up and hooked up the right way so we have stereo and mono input jacks. So I think that's the route I'm going to go for right now. Instead of going through all the trouble of putting these pots back in it and figuring out that there's something wrong with them and then have to take them all back out again. Most of the work is already done. All I got to do is put the Veritone switch in and hook up the stereo and mono. Maybe I might have to desolder a couple things at that point. Maybe I'll replace the pots. These ones here, let me see. I can see it says 500K, but I don't see the brand name on them. I see an EP. Is it possible that they put Epiphone pots in this? I doubt it. No, because it don't have enough room to say Epiphone. I'm not sure. I'll have to take some solder off of one of those and see what brand they are. Maybe they're Alphas, because the serial number starts with an A. Not sure. So maybe we just go ahead and rewire this whole thing. Maybe I'll reach out to this guy and say, hey, what can you do to hook me up with 4 pots, the Veritone switch that I can hook up to stereo and mono? So I don't know. I reached out to this guy. I said, hey, I got a question for you, but it'd be easier for me just to do a video. I'm building this Lucile, or rebuilding it again, and it's a hot mess. My dad's played it, and he said that it sounds absolutely amazing the way it is. They did put the vintage style Gibson ceramic discs in it, and those are a 0.33 microfarad. So he does say that this thing just sounds absolutely amazing. He said these pickups are just the bomb. So I'm not sure if these are a T-top or, you know, Tim Shaw or whatever. We'll take them out and take a look at them, because I've never had these out. So again, we're going to go ahead and take this listing down off of Reverb here pretty soon. I won't do it until I get parts for it. And if it sells before I get parts, we'll find something else to do. But I think it's time to address this and make this thing work as it should and as it was meant to right from the factory. So I think we're just going to go ahead. Might as well just replace all 4 pots in that Veritone switch. The input jacks we can use, and the 3-way switch we can use, obviously. But so I think that's where we're going to go while I'm looking for something else to build, and while we're waiting on your guys' build and my build to come back from Lay's from finish work. So I think that's our next project here, is to revive the BB King back to the way it was meant to, with stereo and mono and a baritone switch. So we'll see what this guy says, what he can do to me. If you guys want to check him out, let's just go down here and check out his site again. Seller's other items. So there you go. Kelling's Sound 88, all one word, and 100% positive feedback. And if you look, he has just tons of different stuff. So maybe we'll give him a shot. I definitely, if he builds something for me, I definitely don't want any of that quick connect stuff. I want all soldered in, and I'd prefer to go with all cloth wiring, just to keep it vintage style. Everything you guys know that I build, I'm always using the braided pushback wire and the cloth pushback wire. I like to keep things vintage. I know there's nothing wrong with plastic wiring. They do it in a lot of the Gibsons now, a lot of 4-wire pickups. I prefer the 2-wire metal pushback pickups. That's what I always seek out and purchase when I buy pickups. So that's just my personal preference. Some of you guys may disagree with that. I think this one here has these have 4-wire pickups. So I guess it wouldn't be the end of the world to have plastic wiring in here, but I just personally like the cloth and metal. But I think this is our next project right here, while we're waiting on something else to build, while we're waiting on the other ones to come back from finished work to build. So stay tuned. I'm going to send this video to Kelling Sound and see what he can come up with me for a package deal to get this thing up and running as it should have been. So till then, check out his site on eBay, Kelling Sound 88. And till then, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see what happens next, because things change here like my underwear during the week. And that's quite a bit. Twice a day, actually. In the morning, on the way to work, and at home when I get from work. So things could change. We'll see what happens. Thanks for watching.